All right, we continue along here on the Sunday night, the XFINITY Sports Report, your Colorado High School connection. Brian Roth back with you. Time to talk some hoops with Thomas Trotman. Thomas, great to see you. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Good to see you again, Brian.
Love reading your Ball Fever columns, chassanow.com. Those are always terrific. Make sure to check those out. And then also with Billups Elite, and you used to have your club team, Colorado Connect, it merged last year with Billups Elite. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's been fantastic. It's been great for the community, great for the kids. Merger, as you mentioned, that we pulled off a year ago of the two clubs uniting. We're up to 9 teams now that we have. Got some community service and volunteer activities coming up for Martin Luther King Day that we're real excited about. So it's been great for the community. Chauncey and his support for the community and the way he kind of guides us and the way he wants us to represent in the community it's just been awesome for all of us.
Yeah, one of the big reasons we bring Thomas in, he knows a lot of the kids and certainly has his pulse right on the Colorado high school basketball scene. All right, we're going to talk 4A and 5A boys basketball in this segment. Let's start with the 4A boys. And right now, Lewis Palmer kind of looks like the team down there, don't they? I mean, they look like the team.
Pretty dominant early.
Right.
You know, we chatted a little bit earlier about that early matchup they had, top 3 matchup, I guess we could call it, of Pueblo South versus Lewis Palmer. And Joel Scott, from what I'm hearing, is he's kind of playing like a man amongst boys is the term that's being used, and he's been dominant early in 4A.
Yeah, how good has that family been? I mean, that's been fun to watch. Of course, Josh ended up at the University of Colorado. Jordan's at Idaho. You have Jonathan, down at Otero right
correct.
now.
Yep.
And then Joel. I mean, that you talk about one of the best families to come through Colorado high school basketball.
Absolutely.
You talk about McCaffrey's for football, Scott's for basketball.
It's got to be right up there. I mean, with that pipeline, 4 kids, probably 4 that will be playing at the Division I level when it's all said and done.
And they also have a kid named Matt Ragsdale. Really didn't play a lot last year for Lewis Palmer, but here this year, he's a junior, averaging nearly 17 points per game. So Lewis Palmer, heading out of the holiday break, was undefeated, and they look like the team to beat, at least at this point. Again, we're just starting to get into the league play. Now, staying down south, let's go down to the 4A South Central League, and 2 teams to look at. There's Pueblo West, who, of course, has been there the last couple of years, 2016 state champions, and then Pueblo South. Hey, Thomas, they got it done in football. Could they get it done in basketball?
They could. They did take that loss to Lewis Palmer that we talked about, but I think those football guys were just getting back on the roster. So I don't want to put a lot of weight into that early loss. I think we could see those same 2 teams tangle down the line.
Yeah, of course, you have Marcel Barbie, 18 points again. Tony Aragon is right there, about 15 points again, and Jeremy Cody. And that's it. That's a team that has a lot of pieces in it. And then we mentioned Pueblo West. They lose David Semental. It seems like Semental had been around forever.
Right.
But he is finally gone. But, again, they do such a nice job down there west of Pueblo, there at Pueblo West. Let's come up a little bit more into the metro area for a Jeffco. Golden High School. A lot of people felt that they thought the Demons were going to be the favorites coming this season. John Anderson, their head coach, resigned back in December because of some allegations of some coaching abuse. Now, whatever happened, who knows, but they now have an assistant coach leading them. How will that affect them, do you think?
You know, I kind of have them right now as my team to watch, is what I would say in 4A. If we're going Pueblo South, Lewis Palmer is the top 2. Golden's right there as the team to watch. When teams go through adversity like that, it kind of unites. It can unite them, I should say. So watch for them to possibly come together and become tight as a unit and make a late run.
Yeah, Tim Blodgett is the assistant coach who now takes over for John Anderson to lead that program. And they have a kid, I know you've seen Adam Thistlewood. He's a tall kid, but can really shoot it too.
He's legit. And don't let the frame fool you. You know, he's kind of got that tall, skinny frame, and I don't want to call him skinny because I know he works hard, on and off the floor. But you look at him and you think, oh, maybe a little fragile, but no, he can mix it up on the inside as well.
Yeah, so Golden certainly is going to be a team there. Out of that 4A Jefferson County League, Evergreen coming off a Sweet 16 run of a season ago. Cougars are back playing well this year. And then you always think about Valor Christian in the 4A Jefferson County League on the boys' side, but They're down this year, aren't they, Tommy? Listen, they got demolished by graduation coming off a state championship.
Demolished by graduation is probably the best term you can put on there. Jalen Sanders, who went right into the starting lineup, Division I for UNC Greeley. When you lose players like that, you're going to have a bit of a drop-off. They had a really tough run in Vegas. They were out at the Tarkanian Classic. I don't think they won a game in Vegas, but coming back from that experience, maybe they can come together as a squad. We shall see.
All right, one more team to mention in Class 4A out of the 4A Northern Conference, Silver Creek. Tyler Dykema, a kid to keep your eyes on. Silver Creek out of the holiday break, undefeated. They look like the team to beat in that Northern along with Longmont. Dykema, though, averaging 26 points per game. Silver Creek, I haven't seen him. I know you haven't seen him yet. Certainly we will as the season goes along, but Silver Creek, the Raptors, look like they're going to be the best representation north of the metro area. All right, let's go to Class 5A, start in the Continental League, and Rock Canyon, of course, making that run to the Final Four last year. Are they the team to beat at this point?
I think we have to put them as the cream of the crop right now. So undefeated, ranked number one in all platforms across the board. Won a couple early tournament titles under their belt. So team to beat right now.
Yeah, and again, they have so many pieces back from last year's team in Tyson Gilbert. Of course, Sam Maston, he's going up to UNC, has already signed with Jeff Linder and the Bears. Other teams in the conference, and this conference is loaded, obviously. Chaparral, how good is Ronnie DeGray III? He's just a junior.
I've had the pleasure, speaking of Billups Elite, of traveling with young Ronnie to a couple different cities, a couple states that we play top competition against, and he's legit. He is legit. He's averaging a double-double right now, easily over 20 points a game, 10 points, 10 rebounds per game, and he's solid. We call him the silent assassin. He doesn't say much, but he just gets the job done.
Yeah, and he's getting a ton of recruiting interest from a lot of different schools outside the state. Pitt is in on him. Missouri, of course, in-state, everybody is on him. Ronnie DeGray III, just a junior, good size too at 6'5". Another good guard with good size, Kason Hammonds, Thunder Ridge, the Grizzlies, Final Four last year. They're going to be in the mix again.
They'll be there again. Got two seniors, like you just mentioned, Hammonds and a kid named McCaw, who can put that team on their back and make some runs. So they got a lot of talent over there at T-Ridge, and obviously with Joe Ortiz pulling the strings, that's not a bad combination to have.
Yeah, and we'll also talk about Regis. Well, we saw him earlier on the program here tonight as they destroyed a pretty good Cherokee Trail team with Kent Shaw and the Regis Raiders coming into the January portion of their schedule with just the one loss on the season. Let's go to the Centennial League at Smoky Hill. Boy, they have a lot of pieces back, don't they?
A ton of talent. I think John Harge is leading them right now, 15 points, 10 rebounds a game. Kenny Foster, who's just one of the ultra athletes in the state, got a young point guard, and Quentin Rock, who's kind of running the show for him. So much talent.
Yeah, and of course we saw them against Grandview earlier on the program, and Grandview they lost some pieces, lost Gage Prim and LaShawn Duhart last year, but they bring back Dane Prim and the Prim boys. Maybe not like the Scots, not as many of them, but pretty darn good.
Absolutely. Only lost one game, and that was in Las Vegas at the Tarkanian Classic. Grandview hasn't lost in the state yet, so some big matchups coming up. We're going to see just how quickly they can rise and give Smoky Hill some real competition.
Yeah,
there.
and perhaps Eagle Crest would be in the mix there. Overland got off to a brutal start. Started 1-7 of the season, but Danny Fisher has a very good team. They played one of the toughest schedules in the state of Colorado. And finally, let's talk a little DPL hoops. And Denver East, Rudy Carey back again. Of course, he has one of the state's top players in Dalen Kuntz.
Dalen Kuntz, the CU commit. Boulder has another special kid on the way. I mean, how do you call Dalen Kuntz underappreciated? But I think he is. But when more people get a chance to see him up close and personal, you see that he's a kid that can really put that team on his back. And then he has, I call him the dynamic duo in the Ball Fever column with Quan Marble, the junior, who's supporting them, and they're taking the lead with that squad.
Yeah, Marble and Kuntz, the two guys to watch out there for Denver East. And then you can't talk about the DPL without George Washington. Of course, Reggie Hammond's doing a great job with that program. State runners-up last year in Class 5A. And to bring back John L. Fugit, you got Trey Pierce, and but they have some other kids too that maybe a lot of folks across the state don't know about.
Absolutely. It's some youngsters. Devin Carter, who's a sophomore right now. I think he's actually, as a sophomore, leading the team in scoring. And they have a kid that I've actually got to spend a lot of time with, Kendall Johnson, who we call it freshman alert. Look out for this young man. He's just a freshman, but the whole state will know about Kendall before it's said and done.
Yeah, so again, it's going to be a George Washington team that really good the last couple of years, good this year, but it looks like that pipeline continues for head coach Reggie Hammonds. All right, final thought. We're going to let you go here. Give us your thought. I maybe won't ask you to pick a winner in 4A and 5A. Who are the one or two teams in each of those classifications that you like?
I think we've already called them out. Lewis Palmer and Pueblo South are just, they're going to peak at the end of the season. They have the veterans. They've been there before. So I'm almost going to give Pueblo South the edge of getting a revenge match later in the season over Lewis Palmer in that early loss.
Okay, and then 5A?
5A. When you got that top player in the state, watch out for Rudy and Dalen Koontz down the line. I know Rock Canyon looks like they're on a special run. Chaparral's going to surprise people late, like I said. But, again, that dynamic duo, I'm going to pull for a little bit here for East. All
right. Thomas, thanks so much. Really appreciate your insight. That's Thomas Trotman of Billups Elite, and then, of course, pens the Ball Fever column in ChastaNow.com. Always appreciate his insights. We'll be right back after this to wrap it up here on XSR. The Xfinity Sports Report tonight is brought to you by Assured Partners of Colorado, powered through partnership, by Vectra Bank, big enough to count, small enough to care, by Sam's Club, savings made simple, and by Pepsi, the joy of Pepsi Cola.